Love is supposed to be safe. Love is supposed to heal. But when love turns into obsession, when it becomes something you can't bear to lose, what happens when that love is betrayed? That never ends well. A woman sits behind the wheel of her Mercedes-Benz. Her hands grip the steering wheel so tightly that her knuckles turn white. Her pulse pounds in her ears, drowning out the noise around her. Her heart races, but her decision is already made. Every second of her next move is recorded by a surveillance camera watching from above. It's watching as she presses her foot onto the gas pedal. Watching as the luxury sedan surges forward. Watching as a man, her husband, turns toward the oncoming headlights. This is the story of love turned to betrayal, heartbreak turned to fury, and a moment of rage that would change everything. This is the true story of Clara Harris. Clara Suarez was born in Colombia. She was ambitious, determined, and relentless in her pursuit of success. She moved to the United States, worked hard, and became a dentist. She didn't just want a career, she wanted the American dream. And she got it. In Houston, she met David Harris, an orthodontist. He was charming, respected, and equally driven. Together, they were unstoppable. They opened their own practice, Castle Dental, and built a life that many envied. A beautiful home. A thriving business. 3 children. To the outside world, they had it all. But life, no matter how perfect it seems, doesn't always follow the script we expect. Beneath the polished surface of their marriage, cracks were beginning to form. And soon, Clara's perfect world would begin to crumble. They met at work. Gail Bridges was attractive, confident, and younger than Clara. She wasn't just an employee, she became something more. At first, it was subtle. A lingering glance. A friendly conversation that stretched just a little too long. Then, it became something undeniable. Clara wasn't oblivious. She felt it. The distance, the quiet changes in David's behavior. He worked later. He was distracted at home. He carried his phone with him everywhere. And then, she found the first undeniable clue, a charge on his credit card. A hotel. A dinner for 2. She wanted to believe there was an explanation. But deep down, she knew. She needed proof. And when David continued to deny it, she took matters into her own hands. She hired a private investigator. Then, on July 24, 2002, Clara got the call. David and Gail were together, right now, at the Nassau Bay Hilton. She wasn't going to wait any longer. She wasn't going to be lied to again. She grabbed her car keys, told her stepdaughter to get in the car, and drove straight to the hotel. She was about to come face to face with the truth. What happened next would leave an entire nation in shock, and it would all be caught on tape. She had seen enough. The late nights, the lies, the deceit, it was all confirmed in front of her eyes. Clara Harris wasn't thinking about consequences. She wasn't thinking about the future. She was thinking about one thing, the betrayal that had just walked out of that hotel. Witnesses saw it happen in real time. David Harris, turning toward the oncoming headlights. A moment of recognition. A step back. Too late. Witnesses counted the number of times the tires rolled over his body. 1, 2, 3. Clara's stepdaughter sat beside her, screaming for her to stop. But Clara wasn't stopping. Not yet. By the time she stepped out of the car, the man she had loved, the father of her children, was lying on the pavement, motionless. Clara Harris had made a choice that night. And now, she would face the consequences. Within minutes of David Harris's death, Clara was arrested at the scene. She didn't resist. She didn't run. She was taken into custody and charged with first-degree murder. David Harris was laid to rest just days later. Friends and family struggled to understand how a once perfect marriage had ended in such a violent tragedy. But for Clara, the fight wasn't over. Now, she had to face a jury. The prosecution painted Clara as a woman consumed by jealousy and rage. They had the surveillance footage. They had eyewitnesses. And they had the chilling testimony of Clara's own stepdaughter, who had been in the car when it happened. But the defense had a different argument. They claimed this wasn't premeditated murder. Clara hadn't gone to the Hilton with the intent to kill. She was a heartbroken wife who had simply lost control in the heat of the moment. A crime of passion. The jury had a decision to make. Was Clara Harris a murderer? Or was she a woman pushed beyond her breaking point? On February 14, 2003, Valentine's Day, Clara Harris learned her fate. The jury found her guilty of manslaughter. Not first-degree murder. Not life in prison. But a 20-year sentence. The judge's voice echoes in the courtroom. We sentence you to 20 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice and a fine of $10,000. It wasn't the harshest sentence she could have received, but it was a far cry from the life she had once known. Clara Harris, once a respected dentist, a devoted mother, a successful woman, was now a convicted felon. For 15 years, Clara Harris lived behind bars. She was a model inmate, staying out of trouble, focusing on her faith. And in 2018, after serving 3/4 of her sentence, she was granted parole. She walked free. But her life would never be the same. Today, Clara Harris lives a quiet life, away from the public eye. She lost her dental license. Her children are grown. And David Harris is gone. Some say justice was served. Others say she got off easy. But one thing is certain, on that summer night in 2002, a single moment of rage changed everything. This wasn't love, it was possession, obsession, and heartbreak wrapped in the illusion of devotion. Clara Harris loved David, but when love is built on control and fear of loss, it can turn dangerous. She saw her marriage as something she had built with her own hands, and when another woman threatened it, she didn't just feel betrayed, she felt erased. Real love doesn't drive someone to destroy what they cherish. What Clara did wasn't about keeping David, it was about making sure no one else had him. Love can be painful, but when it turns into something that consumes, blinds, and leads to destruction, it stops being love at all. What do you think? Was this about love, or was it something much darker? Was this justice? Or was this a crime of passion that went too far? Let us know in the comments below. If you want more true crime cases like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Until next time, stay safe.